Now that we understand how the while loop works, now in this tutorial we are going to build a very nice program using the while loop. Now what we are going to do in this program is we are going to use the while loop to allow a user to input in a lot of numbers, but to be precisely, for the sake of time in this tutorial, 7 digits. Then after the 7 digits are being entered, the program will sum up all the 7 digits and it will display it to the user. Now we are learning this because maybe a time will come you want a user to input in a lot of numbers for you to do something, let's say 1000 digits or numbers. Now you can't set a variable and be doing cin like 1000 times. You can't do this 1000 times. That is really tiresome. But we can use just the while loop or any other loop, but in this tutorial precisely the while loop, to just write a simple code and it will allow the user to input in the number of times you want the user to input in those numbers. So quickly, for us to understand, let's start building our program. Now in this program I'm going to need 3 variables. First one, I'll call it int a, and I'll set a equals number 1. And what I'll be using this for is I will use a to perform my loop. Again, I will set another variable. This one is number, and this is going to be the variable which will store the user input. Last one, I will have another variable and I will call it total. And what this total is going to do is it's going to keep records of the numbers entered and it will sum it up. So what I'll do is total equals 0, like so, because remember it's going to keep records of the digits entered and it will sum it up. So we have to initialize it to 0. After that, very necessary, I need to prompt the user what to do so as the user will know what this program is about. So I'll say enter 7 digits to sum up. So this is a prompt to the user, and appropriately I'll end my line. Now after this, what I'll do is I'm now coming to perform my loop for the input. So I'll type in while, then I will set a equals or less than 7. I'm saying 7 because I want the user to input in 7 times. Remember, a is starting from 1 as we learned in the previous tutorial, and it's going to end exactly at 7. So this will allow the user to input in 7 numbers. Now if I want the user to input in 1000 times, then I'll set here equals 1000. 100 times 100 and 10 times will be 10. But in this tutorial, for the sake of time, I'll allow the user to input in only 7 digits. Now after this, I need the body for my loop, and because I want the input to loop, I'll set the input inside my while loop, then I'll set my number variable for that. Now after that, I need to tell the total what to do. So I'll set total equals total plus the number that the user will enter. So I'll type in number like so. Now after this, I need to tell the loop, remember, how it's going to increment itself. So I'll say a plus equals 1. This means that it's going to increment the loop 1 by 1. I can also do a plus plus and it's still the same. Okay, so after this, I need to display the result to the user. So I'll come outside my loop, remember, then I will display the result to the user like so. The total for your, is that how to spell your, 7 digits is or equals, then I will give him the total over here. So I'll type total over here like so. So this is what the program is going to do. Remember, I have a variable a equals 1, and what I'm using this a for is I'm just using it to perform a loop over here 7 times. Now inside the loop, I have a user input option or code over there, and this will allow the user to input in 7 times. After this, I have this total equals total plus 1, and what this means is I have total over here, and this total equals the old total, which is 0. Remember, we have 0 here, plus the number. So if the user inputs in 10, it's going to be 10 plus 0, then it will store for this variable. If the user now inputs in 2, it will be 10 plus 2, and it will store for this, making it 12. At the end of the day, it will just print out everything out. So let me go ahead, build and run this program, and I have enter 7 digits to sum up. So first of all, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now if I hit enter, it sums all the digits up and it will display the answer for me like so. So this is how the while loop can be very important. If I want to allow the user to input in 1,000 times, I don't need to create a variable and set that variable C in 1,000 times. That can be very tiresome. I can just use my while loop or the for loop to just perform a looping operation, and that will be very good for me. So that is it for this tutorial, and hopefully I'm looking forward to see you in my next tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.